Hello friends, welcome back. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about how to integrate search functionality in our Recycler view which is present in our Android application. Now almost every application has a list for showing one or another items. So if the user want to find one item in the list, then it becomes a tedious task for user to look for the specific item which he or she wants without having a search functionality, even though the list is alphabetically sorted. So the better choice is to provide user a functionality of search where user can directly enter some characters and then he and she can directly find the required item. And in this tutorial, we are going to learn how to implement that quickly in your Recycler view. So let's jump into Android Studio and see. Here I am in an Android Studio, which is actually not an empty. I have just created a simpler Recycler view to save our time. Let me explain what I have done already. I am in the activity underscore main.xml file, and I am using a data binding. That's why here layout tag is here. So for the data binding, we just need to add this in our build.gradle data binding enable true, and we also need to add this id as kotlin kpt plugin. So that's about the data binding, and we are using that in our project. Now this is a parent constraint layout, and this is the recycler view which I have just added, and I have also created a separate user layout here which only contains a simple text and just a divider line. That's it. We are just going to learn the search functionality. For that, I have just created a list of users, and that list is also statically typed, and it is just for demonstration purpose. So in the activity main.xml, I have done all only these things, provided the id to the recycler view, and with the tools colon list item, I have just assigned the layout to see it at the compile at the design time how it will look. So this is just a recycler view. Now moving towards main activity.kt, here I have created this is just a data binding concept. This is a binding, and I have initialized the binding in the onCreate method. Now this is a list of users I have created. Near about 16 users I have created here. They are statically created. User is a just a data class. Let me go to that, which contains just an ID and a name as a string. That's about user class. And all of these user objects I have created, list of user objects I have created here, named as users list. This list we will be passing to our recycler view. Next, I have created this custom method set recycler view and sending it users list via a parameter. In this function, we are just doing a simple thing. We are just using an apply function on this. We are just setting a layout manager to the linear layout manager with context passing as this activity. Okay. And this is the adapter we are using. So we are initializing user adapter here. So and finally we are submitting this list, users list, which we are receiving from the parameters of this function. We are submitting the list to the adapter. Now let me just go to quickly this adapter. This adapter is just like a common adapter in the recycler view, which I have already demonstrated in our recycler view tutorial. If you don't have idea complete about the recycler view, then you can just watch a recycler view tutorial first, which I have already uploaded on the channel. I will provide the link for that in the description box also. So this is just a typical example of that. This is the inner class, and all this I have initialized this data binding here, and I have just used this bind function here in the onBind view holder function, and here just a diffuted class implementation. In general, we are just binding the items. We are just binding this name, this text with whatever the data we get in the list uh, from the using the submit list function. So that's about the user adapter. So that is not actually a focus of this of this tutorial. Now let me run the application for now and show you how it is running now. Now the application is running, and I have just created an adapter, a recycler view, and it is just showing a list of items which I have assigned statically here. So we are able to see the list here. Yeah, we have a recycler view ready. Now we are going to add a search functionality here. if user want to search any username from here, then here it will be a search box and user will enter some characters, and as user will type the characters, the list will be get filtered. Now for that we need to add one search view in the activity main.xml. Let me hide this simulator for now. In the under this constant layout, I'll use search view. So not this search view. I'll use this second one, androidex.appcompat.widget.searchview. Make sure to in that you will also use the same, and we'll set the width as a match parent and height as a wrap content. Now let me align this constant, add a constant to it, constant top to top of parent, and now I need to change the constants for the recycler view. Constant top to bottom of, oh let me give the id to this first. I'll give id search underscore view, and now I'll assign search view top to the bottom of search view, and I'll constant bottom to the bottom of parent, and I think yes, that's good. So our XML layout is done. There will be search bar here where we'll be able to search. Now going to the main activity, we'll first declare the variable as a let init var search view. It will be search view, and I'll initialize it here search view. No need for initialization actually, as we are using a data binding. No need for initialization. So here, what I will do, here I will use binding dot search view dot. We are going to use a one attribute, that is a query hint. Now what this query hint will do, it will whatever we'll type here. Let's say we'll type here, right here, search user. So it will be displayed in the text of the search bar. Yeah. Another attribute we'll be using binding dot search view dot set icon modified by set icon by default. We will set it as a false. So if we run the application now, by default only the magnifier symbol will be there, and when you tap on that magnifier icon, and then the whole search bar will be open, and then we will be able to enter the characters, that enter the username which you want to search. But actually we don't want this behavior. We want that search bar to be displayed by default. So that's what this attribute will do. We are setting as false, that's why it will show the search bar every time. Now let me do binding dot search view dot. We will now do the actual work, set on query text listener. So we here now to deal with the listeners. Let's see how we can do that. Here we need to create one anonymous class, and we need to implement one interface here, that is on query text listener. Now let me, and now we need to implement two methods here. That two methods will be on query text submit and on query text change. So this function will be triggered whenever user does something with the search view. So the control will come here in this method on query text submits. If the user types something and hits done or search button from his keyboard, then the control will come here. But we are not going to use this method here, because we are going to use this method, the second method, on query text change. As soon as user start typing at least one character in the search bar, then the control will come here and will start filtering our list. So there will be no need for explicitly pressing the search button here. So that's why we don't need this method. We will just return false here. We will also return false from here as well, because this doesn't matter. What matters is our implementation, what we are implementing here. So here what we will do, first we need to check if this new text dot to string is empty. So if user have not entered any characters in that, if the new string is empty, then what we need to do, we need to just pass the list to this pass the users list to this function, to pass the list to the adapter which contains all of the items, because user is not entering filtering any item, not entering any specific search query. That means users want all items. So that's why we'll call this function here set recycler view, and we will just pass the globally declared list, which is this users list. If the search bar is empty, we want to show all items to the user. That's what this function will do. And in the else case, if this is not the case, if user has entered some search query in the search bar, then what we'll do, we will create one filtered list and we will add the items which are matching to that search query. So here filtered list equal to, that will be a mutable list of user, and here we will run a for loop for user in users list. Users list is a global list. Now we'll apply a search criteria. If user dot name dot as we want to make this search case insensitive, that's why we will be converting both this name and the query sent by user to the lowercase, and then we will compare and produce the results. To lowercase dot contains, here I'll be using the contains and not equals. So contains this new text dot toString, and that's it. We want lowercase, not to lowercase. Yeah. And if this happens, then what we need to do, we need to add this user object in our filtered list. So we'll be doing the same, filtered list dot add, and we'll add this user object. Now after ending of this loop, we have traversed all the list items and we now have everything in this filtered list. Now we just need to call this set recycler view function again, and instead we need to pass this filtered list which we have filtered with the search suggestions. And yes, that's it. That's the only thing we need to do for the search. Now let me run the application and see how it is working. Now our application is running, and now let me try searching. ASH, yes, the names are getting filtered whether I put capital or small letters here. Now if I put R, letter starting from name starting from R is getting shown. If I put P, the relevant results are getting shown. So this is how we can implement search functionality in our recycler. So this is how we can implement search functionality in our RecyclerView in our own Android application. I hope that's clear to you. If not, you can put your doubts in the comment section below. I will try my best to answer those. If you like this video, then please click on like, share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you won't miss any upcoming amazing video. We'll meet in the next tutorial with some another interesting concept. Till then, goodbye. Have a good day.